Hello, everybody. It's Pineapple here. So today I wanted to take a look at something a little different, and that is just improving Master Duel as a whole. I like Master Duel. I think it's a fun way to play Yu-Gi-Oh. The animation is great. The music is fantastic. But truth be told, it leaves a lot to be desired. We're now a year into Master Duel's life cycle, or about that. And in my opinion, personally, the most frustrating thing about Master Duel is the ban list. There's no doubt in my mind that everything else I can live with. I can live with the lack of events. I can live with pretty much everything else. The lack of solo mode, gems being a little bit of a grind. I can stomach all of that. What makes Master Duel so frustrating is some of the cards that they have left unbanned, some cards that are still banned or limited. Just so frustrating. It takes the worst aspects of the OCG and the worst aspects of the TCG, mashes them together to create a heinous crime that shouldn't exist. So, we're going to go over what I think personally should be changed. This is just my personal opinion. You're welcome to disagree, except on Max C. Fuck that card, fuck Max C. Put it to 0. But first, of course, Dragon Buster the Destruction Sword. If it's equipped to something, your opponent doesn't get a special from the extra deck. Whenever this card has been relevant, it's just toxic. There's no reason for cards that floodgate you out of special summoning from the extra to exist. When, in my opinion, that is what fundamentally makes Yu-Gi-Oh! A unique card game. That and the ability to just continue summoning. The extra deck and a lack of a mana system are what make Yu-Gi-Oh! Awesome. And things that restrict that should be banned. As you will see, there are a lot of things on this list that do one of two things. They're either extremely toxic, are floodgates, are FTK machines, comedically stupid combo pieces, or just non-conditional draw spells, or lack hard ones returns. Next up, the bane of my existence, Maxi. This card warps formats like no other. It's so frustrating to play against in a 1-for-1, best of 1, sorry. There's nothing that I hate more than just seeing Maxi. Playing the minigame is so unfun. The fact that I had to give up 9 spots in my deck because of this card, to either counter it, to just get rid of it. Just put this card to 0, please. There's no reason for it. It's not fun to play with or against. And in my opinion, that's the most important aspect of a ban list. It should make the game fun to play, and Maxi does not do that. Please ban this card. We then have Snow. I can't believe this card is at 3. Why is it at 3? There's nothing more annoying than your opponent just dodging all forms of targeted interaction with Snow. Snow just taking stuff off the field. Snow just looping things. It's so frustrating. It takes dead cards in your graveyard, turns them into resources. It's so frustrating. I don't like anything that is involved with this card. I find it to be super toxic. Personally, I'd like it to 0. It's a wish list, but yeah, I probably won't get that. Scythe, same thing as Destruction Sword. I get that it's not prevalent. It hasn't particularly been prevalent in Master Duel. It's still Scythe. Please ban this card. It's not fun to play against. It's Scythe. We've had this debate before. D-Shifter. I don't like D-Shifter, especially in a best of 1. Again, it's a lingering floodgate from the hand that demands that you have exactly called by or gamma. Just not a fun card to play with or against, or cross out if you're in a mirror. But if you're in the mirror, why would you cross out Shifter? It does nothing. We then have Master Plan. I do not want Master Plan banned. I will say this. I want Master Plan to 1. I think that Master Plan is completely... It's a broken card, but when it's at 3 and you can just find it so much more often, especially with souls, it's much more obnoxious. But having it at 1 or resort at 1 would just make everyone's life so much easier than when you see this deck and it's just like, God, they really didn't touch anything from the TCG. We then have Protoss. I don't think that Sword Soul in particular does anything that's very broken for the game outside of this card. And they don't even make it that much. It's just about the conceptual fact that Protoss Call Dark can just end the game, and I don't like lingering floodgates. I don't like floodgates in general, but lingering floodgates specifically are the bane of my existence. This card shouldn't exist. It shouldn't be in Master Duel. It's not fun to play with or against. Please ban it. Next up, Upstart Goblin. Just put it to 1. Non-conditional draw spells are so frustrating. Same thing with Chicken Game. Again, non-conditional draw spells, just bad. Do not have them running around at 3, please. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking them to ban these cards. They're fine at 1. They become a little, they enable some sketchy things when they're at 3. We then have Grass. I know that Grass isn't anywhere. It's just, whenever someone resolves Grass, it's so frustrating to just watch their whole deck go into their grave, and then they trigger like 30 Shadow names or like all these cards. It's just a toxic card. I don't like Grass. Again, wish list card. It is like Shifter. They don't have to do anything. I'd prefer if they did, but it's fine, I suppose. Numeron Network. Numeron just takes advantage of the best of 1 nature of Master Duel, and I just don't think that it's a fun deck to play against. I don't think it's a fun deck to play with. It's just Lava Golem, Storm, GG, Activate Network. Please just put it to 1. Make it harder for them to find it, or 0 even. I just don't think Numeron is an interesting strategy that's fun to play with or against. So I don't care what changes they make, just please put Numeron to the less. I know it's not that prevalent, but still. Next up, Fountain. I want Fountain to 1. Runic as a deck is fine when Fountain is, like, you're not triggering Fountain like 5 times in a turn. But the fact that this card doesn't have a hard once per turn is so mind-boggling. I really don't like that you can draw like 9 cards off this. Just ridiculous, not fun to play with or against, particularly because of the following cards: the Floodgates, Messenger of Peace. I can't believe I'm asking for this card to like have them do something. This is like a final wish list. But, like, cards that like prevent you from attacking. This is Mystic Mine at home. Like it's not great, but whenever you see it, you just kind of groan. I don't know. I just don't like Floodgates. They don't have to do this. This is a wishlist card. But Kaiser Coliseum, they do have to do something about it. There is a reason this card is banned. It is Mystic Mine. It is Mystic Mine at home, except it just prevents you from summoning more cards. It is so frustrating. It's the only Floodgate that Striker plays. It's one-sided. Just don't have this card exist, please. I'm begging. D-Barrier. Nobody likes D-Barrier. It's so sacky. Just, they set it, they flip, they call, oh, GG, scoop it up. I don't like D-Barrier. It should be banned in the TCG. It should be banned in Master Duel, especially because it's the best of 1. Anti-Spell, Floodgate, ban it. Same with Rivalry, same with Skill Drain, same with Summon Limit, same with Gozen. And especially same for Tikaboo. All of these cards just enable like an unfun game state. They're not fun to play against, they're not fun to play with. There's nothing more annoying than just seeing your opponent flip Summon Limit. It's not fun. It limits what makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Awesome, and that is the crazy amount of summons. Tikaboo is Tikaboo. In a world where archetypes are designed around being very samey, Tikaboo is such a frustrating card. I can't believe this is one of the only Floodgates that's untouched. I'd prefer it at 0. I can live with it at 1 because Guru Control is the only thing that really plays it, and Guru is fucking stupid. Moving on to the extra deck, Independent Nightingale is only used to enable FTKs. I understand that it is not currently viable because they limited Supreme King Dragon, but still, just ban it. This is clearly the problem card. It is never going to be used for anything outside of exactly FTKs. Just ban it. There's no reason for it. We're not losing anything by putting this card to 0. Winda, it's a Floodgate. It has protection. Not fun. Please, it's not fun to play with or against. Get rid of it. Blaze Phoenix, FTK machine. Put it to 0. I get it's harder to enable with it at 1. I don't care. Put it to 0. It's an FTK card. Supreme King Starving Venom. Again, FTK card. Ban it. No reason. Cards that copy effects are always like ripe for the breaking. Colossus. Floodgate with protection. With the fact that Cupid Pitch and Nemesis Corridor are in the game, it is searchable in any deck that can banish a card and doesn't lock you. Just ban it. It's a Floodgate. I used to be on the they can put Colossus to 1. Thunder can exist. No, this card is the problem. It's not fun to play with or against. Please ban it. Rongo. Rongo Bongo is not fun to play with or against. Well, I guess it might be fun to play with, but there is nothing enjoyable about getting Rongoed. This card is just, it reads the game is over. Um, it's not fun to play with or against. Ban it, please. Tomahawk. This card enables Auroradon. There's a reason it's banned in the TCG. I'm not sure why it's not banned here. Please just ban it. There's no reason for 5 tokens to just be generated, especially when they're machines. Just get rid of it, please. There's no reason for it to exist. Union Carrier. This card is just foolish burial that enables you to like put things in the spell trap, which I have demonstrated with Valence. Like, there are so many unintended consequences of this card. I understand that ABC needs it, but that's a casualty they'll have to suffer through. This card just enables dumb things that shouldn't exist. It produces a lot of unintended interactions. Please just ban it. Verte! Verte is the problem card. A lot of people are going to tell me that the fusion spells are the problem card. They are not. Verte is 100% the problem card. The fact that any 2 monsters means that you can just end on DPE is stupid. I understand that the DPE package is not as good as it used to be. Still, ban Verte. No reason for this card to exist. I understand. I am saying that as a person who currently owns a Royal Rare Verte. Ban this card. Auroradon. It's Auroradon. You saw Hulk Auroradon things. This card is a problem card. I understand it's not as prevalent right now. It's still a problem card. Please get rid of it. So with that, let's move on to the cards that I'd like to see potentially at more copies. So moving on to cards that I'd like to see at more copies, we're going to start off with Gamma. All of these are also going to be under the presumption that the cards that I listed will have some changes to them. Like obviously, I'll explain when we get there, but some cards can't come back if other things aren't changed, obviously. But we'll start with Gamma. Gamma should be at 3. I don't see why it's at 2. It's a very powerful hand trap, but it requires you to play Driver, and as we all know, Driver is always in your opening hand. So I'm fine with Gamma at 3. It's fine at 2. I just think it could be at 3. I don't see any reason why it's at 2. Multi-Faker, Geist isn't doing anything. This card can be at 3. I don't think we need to have this debate. Gazelle, it's Gazelle. It can also be at 3. I don't think Sal. I think Sal's good, but I don't think that the difference between 2 and 3 Gazelle is so game warping. It's fine at 2. It can stay at 2. I'd prefer it at 3. I don't think Salad is the end-all be-all or anyone's crying about Salad. Next up, Enchantress. This is going to make a lot of people angry, but I'm a big fan of the Adventure Engine. It helps out weird monsters and weird interruptions. It is accessible removal that is incredibly just feels good to play. I like the Adventure Engine. This is my personal wish list. Enchantress to 2 or 3 even maybe, but it's going to make a lot of people angry. But I would like it to see more adventure. I think the thing that was really frustrating was that it enabled Hulk Auroradon things, and I think with Hulk gone and assuming that I want Auroradon banned, I think it can come back to 3, especially with Tomahawk banned, which it just should be. Next up, Ovi. Soul Eating Oviraptor. Dino is so high rarity that you could put all their cards to 3, and I don't think it changes anything because no one is going to want to play it because of how high rarity it is. So you can put Ovi to 3. I don't think that Soul Eating Oviraptor is even going to do anything, even with it at 3 and Misket 3. I think it's completely fine. I don't see any reason why we can't have this card at 3. This just feels like paranoia from Konami. Next up, Harp. The biggest difference for Harp is 0 to 1. Harp can be at 3. It doesn't change much. I'm not even sure you play more than 2 anyways, but it can definitely be at 3. We then have Gear Suit. Orchest isn't doing anything. It's not going to be splashed without Mermaid coming back. Not that I think they'll ever bring that back, and although I do think that at some point in the future, i.e. a couple years down the road, we will get Mermaid back because it's a extender / starter, and those things eventually will come off the ban list just by the power creep of the game, but that's my personal opinion. Gear Suit is a great starter for Orchest. It's fine, but I don't think that there's any reason for it to be sitting at 1. Orchest isn't doing anything. You can bring this card to 2, you can bring it to 3, doesn't really matter. Fractal. Tri-Brigade is very powerful, but I don't think that Tri-Brigade is an unfair deck. I'm fine with Tri-Brigade. It can be at 3. I don't think anyone's really crying about Tri-Brigade. Maybe people would be annoyed with Bird Up, I don't like Bird Up, but I'm fine with Fractal at 3. Hawk and Roar can both come to 3 if Colossus is banned. They could probably come to 3 anyways, but at the end of the day, I don't think that it changes much. It's still Thunder. It's still a kind of crappy engine at this point in the game. But yeah, I think you could bring them up. This one's going to be a bit controversial, or maybe not. I think Blaster can come to 1. I think Fire is a shitty attribute, and you can put it to 1. I don't think that Redox and Tidal can come back, but I definitely think you can put Blaster to 1. It pops, but it doesn't do too much for anything. I mean, I guess Dragons will be a little stronger, maybe, but they don't play Tempest either, so yeah, I think Blaster can come to 1. Tempest, you can bring Tempest to 3. No one is playing this card. I don't know, maybe Tomahawk Strategies would, but again, Tomahawk should be independently banned, so that's not really a valid idea. Next up, Double Iris. I don't think Double Iris is like too much of a problem. I think it can be a 3. I get that Pend is very frustrating for a lot of people, but I don't think that Double Iris is a broken card. And if you want to see it, you'll use Electromite to get it there. So it's fine. It can come to 3. Same with Supreme King Dragon Darkwing. You want to be sending this to the grave and summoning it back anyways, so I don't think you even want to play more than 1. It can be a 3. Raigeki. Cards shouldn't feel sacky. I don't like that Raigeki's at 2. Please put it to 3. Yeah, I don't like when blowout cards are limited. It makes them feel worse when someone drops them against you. I don't think Raigeki does anything inherently broken. I think it's fine at 3. It's fine going second card. They don't have to move it, but it'd be nice. Ginger Heart, this card's been unlimited in the TCG, and it has done nothing. You can bring this card to 1. I don't think it should be at 3 though, because Mind Con is at 3, Brain Control's at 3, but you could probably put it to 1. Second Light, I think Second Light is a very interesting card, personally. It enables a very specific style of deck building that we don't see enough. We have all these broken pot cards, and Second Light is a card that enables very unique deck building, and I think it should be at 3. I don't think that it's better than other pot cards, but I do think that it enables interesting deck building in comparison to them, and therefore I think it should be at 3. Assuming that Verte is banned, you can put FD to 3. If not, keep this card at 1. DPE is fine. It's not fine when Verte is legal. Dear Servant, the reason this card is limited is because it's a 1-card Winda. The problem card there is Winda, not Nadir. You can put Nadir to 3. Dogmatica is completely fine. Right, again, I'm a big fan of the Adventure Engine. You put it to 3, please. Copium. Trickstar Light Stage. I don't think Trickstar is doing anything. You could probably put Reincarnation as well, but yeah, Light Stage should be at 3. I don't think this card is doing anything right now. I've never seen it played. It is fine. Launcher. When you can't cheat by setting a Summoner Monk in the back row, I do think that Infernity is completely fine. You can bring this back. I don't see why not. Infernity is not going to do anything. It doesn't have hand traps. It dies to Max C. That should be banned, but that's beside the point. Moving on, Tenki. Tenki's again enables like Bird Up and stuff, but I don't think Tenki to 2 is like really doing much. Just put it to 3 if you're going to do that. Scapegoat does nothing. It can be a 3. DM nerds are going to be like, oh, Scapegoat to 3, but yeah, it's fine. Spellbook of Judgment, it's doing nothing. You can put it to 3. Metaverse. I think without Mystic Mine, I think Metaverse is completely fine. It is not terraforming. It is slow enough that you can Metaverse. Like maybe you're Metaversing into Necro Valley, but like if you're Metaversing into Necro Valley, like I think the problem card there is very clearly Necro Valley. Like, but anyways, moving on. Conquistador, this card should be at 3. The problem card is in Outlich, are the Floodgates, not Lich. It's completely fine. Moving forward, Dragoon. If Verte is banned, this card can... I don't understand what the problem with Dragoon is. It's a big guy who protects himself, who has a negate. I really don't see what's the big deal. Everyone has access to Droplet. Dragoon is completely fine. I would argue you could have it at 3 even, right now. with Verte legal. But is it frustrating? Yes. Does it need to be banned? I would argue no. Moving on, we have Ib, the World Chalice Justicer, and this is only because Danglong is here. I don't think that this card should be legal, but if Danglong is going to be legal, I don't see why this card can't be either. Danglong is at 3, but this card is at 0, sorry. No reason for this card to be banned if Danglong is legal. It's just World Chalice Danglong. But moving on, Dryden. The problem cards with Zoo are very much Zeus, not the Zodiac monsters themselves. Dryden is great. I think it's fine at 1, but you could probably put it to 2 and just see what happens. I think without Barrage and Rat and Broadbow, I think Zoo is kind of fine. Moving on, Kagari. You already gave them the second one. Just give them the third one. Maybe put Engage to 1. But yeah, they're clearly going to move this card. Striker's fine. It's Striker. I think it's fair, especially if Kaiser is banned. Striker's fine. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Striker. Last card though, Galatea. Galatea, again, Orcus does nothing. It's not doing anything. It isn't being splashed. It's completely fine. But this card to 3. I know a lot of people are going to say that, oh, I have some controversial takes on the ban list, but I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Again, I'll see you in the next one.